I'm still trying to resolve some of my computer issues at the office, so I don't have all my numbers in front of me. But once everyone posts their numbers, we should break, I believe, every single category that we are tracking. Every one of them. It is my
gonna get better.
thought that we should break this month, except for one category, which is database ads, because we counted. I think it was you, Heather, that added like 800 people one week.
Yeah, it was like 200.
So outside of that, I believe we should be breaking every single category that we have here. So awesome job, which is a very subtle way of saying, please update your numbers.
Yeah, I'm actually doing that as we're talking.
Okay, what's on your mind, everyone? Tell me the good, tell me the bad, let's talk. What are we thinking?
I sent you a message a few minutes ago, Bill.
I saw that. I'm really sorry to hear that, my friend.
Thank you.
I do appreciate you being on the call today, but as you hopefully know, family first, and make sure that you take care of everything you need to take care of, and we're all here for you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I was off on Friday, so tell me how. I saw all the messages. I appreciate you guys being flexible. I don't know what happened with the code or whatever, but it sounds like you guys got it figured out. Is that right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. How was Robin?
Phenomenal.
Awesome. Tell me your biggest takeaway.
Oof. I'd have to go consult my notebook because I have a lot of stuff that I wrote down.
Yeah. Did she stick mostly to the buyer stuff or no?
Yep. Okay. Mostly buyers.
Okay, cool. Yeah, she has. She originally was a buyer's agent on what was basically kind of like an internet-based team, and ultimately came to the office. This is like, gosh, probably 8 years ago or something like that. And we've served on the ALC almost every year since then together. So she's awesome. She's super sharp. She's incredibly growth-minded. She's been working with John Maxwell, leadership stuff. She's just phenomenal. So I'm glad we were able to bring her in and meet with you. That's one thing that I'm aiming to do pretty frequently, actually, particularly because many of us are not in the office, and we don't get a chance to meet other agents and other leaders in the office. I'm gonna do what we have to do to bring them to you. So this week, there's a woman named Cynthia Bordeaux. She is an ALC member as well. She has a really, really cool story to share. And her kind of niche of late has been home buyer seminars. She's hosted home buyer seminars for like upwards of like 100 people before. So I want her to share kind of what brought her to that, how she's able to get so many people to attend, and kind of what the message is and what that process is, like having a lender there and what message she's communicating to the buyers. So that is going to be Friday. I believe it's at, did I say 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock? Does anyone recall? Hang on one second.
I think it was 12. I think it was an hour earlier this week.
Yeah, so the schedule is back to sort of normal. It's going to be at 12 o'clock, and then we're going to have a launch mastermind, which all of you guys should be attending at 1 o'clock. So 12 o'clock with Cynthia, 1 o'clock with just us. So get you back to Zoom. Okay. I'm going to be working to bring somebody in each week, hopefully each week, to speak to you guys. In the schedule, because now Bold is not from 2 to 4 days a week, we're going to be able to open it up for a little bit more frequent one-on-ones, as well as kind of shifting around some of the timing to allow you guys to to have time for appointments and these kind of things. Cynthia's last name is Bourdua, Bourdois. And her first name is spelled unusually, Cinthyia, I believe. So she'll be with us 12 o'clock on Friday. Okay, how do we finish off the month? And what did you guys spend some time? Remember on Thursday I talked about the importance of kind of taking stock in the results of your month, and then making sure that you set time to evaluate your goals for the month. Right? What did I do well? What did I not do well? What could use improvement? What task should I really kind of double down on? Maybe is there anything that I was doing that didn't seem to get the results that I was aiming for? Tell me a little bit about any thought patterns that came from that.
For me, I have to do a better job of managing my time and sticking to my calendar.
Okay, tell us more about that.
Well, I put lead gen on my calendar and then I get distracted by other things. I told you that I'm working with this buyer, so I might get messages from her and then I go off task and try to address what she's asking me for.
Okay, just out of curiosity, how is she communicating with you? Is she calling you? Is she texting you? Is she emailing you?
She's texting and emailing me.
Simultaneously?
No, not simultaneously. She sometimes texts me, sometimes emails me. She may respond to an email that I sent earlier in the day. So I have my phone sitting beside me and I see it when her text or email comes up.
All right, I'm going to tell you to do something kind of radical, okay? Just shut the email off when you're generating leads. Just shut it off. There's never been an emergency email in the history of real estate. There's actually never probably been an emergency email. Okay? Think about this for a second. Your client has a message to get to you. Okay? We're no judgment on how important it is. Okay? Woman's got a message that she wants to get to you. She basically has 3 ways to get it to you. She's going to call you, she's going to message you, texting, right? Or she's going to email you. Okay. If she has chosen email, it's not an emergency. It is simply getting checked off of her list. Okay. It's on her list. It's probably been staring at her for all day long. She's tired of getting it staring at her. And so she's going to send the email so that it's no longer an obligation that she has. Now think about this. Then you're going to receive the email, drop all of your priority, and address it.
It's mostly been about scheduling appointments to look at houses.
Right.
So we try to schedule them for later in the day after she gets off work. And I guess that's why I kind of see it as a priority.
So send her before you go into the lead generation cave, send her when you're available to meet. Say, I'm going to be tied up for a couple of hours, but I am available at 5. I need to have your list by 2 o'clock or whatever it is. Right? That way she can then respond back by saying, cool, I'll see you at 5 o'clock. Just let me know what house to go to first. And you're not going to tell her that because you haven't seen where they all are and which one you're going to go to first and which one you're going to go to last and which one's available. Now, I do get a little nervous hearing what you're saying because, let me make sure I'm hearing this correctly. Are you guys in the habit of going to look at a couple of houses like every evening?
It's not every evening, but yeah, a few times a week.
Okay, and how many homes do you think you've shown this person?
Probably about 10 at this point.
Too many. So is it because she, how many homes could she possibly want to see before she makes a decision?
Well, we started off in certain areas and then we checked out some houses in a different area. And now we're looking at townhouses.
She's all over the place.
Yeah, because we weren't
What-
successful initially.
So what does she learn? Does she learn that she can only afford to live in a townhome in the area she wants to be in?
Yeah, pretty much.
And so what have you narrowed it down to now? Now you have a specific area and a townhome, yes?
Yes, we're
How many
down
more
to,
homes fit this criteria? Because you don't want to get in the habit of like her thinking like that you're her new like night dinner time friend. Like
I know.
we're gonna pick out a couple handful of homes that I have determined are the most that are the best values in the marketplace. We're gonna go see them. You're gonna pick one and we're gonna buy it. We're not hanging out every night.
Yeah, she's away for a week, so we started looking at townhouses on Friday.
Okay.
So when she comes back, that's the plan.
Okay. What is her budget?
190
There ain't that many townhomes, most likely. Where is she looking?
Smyrna.
Yeah. And how much time has she actually invested driving around Smyrna to make sure that's where she wants to live?
That's where she lives now, so she's familiar with the area.
Good. So I would say to her, look, whenever you want to say something that is, this is going to sound horrible. Whenever you want to say something that you don't want to say is because of you, then say it's because of them, right? I don't want to waste your time by showing you 50 homes. That means I don't want to waste my time showing you 50 homes, right? So I study the market, and my job is to make things as easy and stress-free and painless as possible. So rather than taking you to 5 homes every night for the rest of our lives, and I never get to see my family again between the hours of 5 and 6, I have a better idea. I'm going to go out and peruse the market while you're away and see every single home that's 190 that's in your budget, or that's in their area and your budget. And then when you get back, I'm going to take you to the best 5 and you're going to pick one. And I don't need to take you to the C- dog because that's a big waste of everyone's time. I'm going to take you to just the best. Okay. Now, I did get a, forget who taught me this. I think it was Gene Rivers, although I never did it. Just that's my personal story. I haven't taken a buyer out since I learned this a while back. But he said, you should know the market so well. Well, let me tell you one other thing John Prescott taught me. He says, you should know the market so well that you should show no more than 5 homes to somebody. Okay. The reason why you should limit it to 5 is for the following reason. Number one, if you can't show them the best 5, then one of 2 things is happening. Either you have not asked them enough questions so that you know what they would consider to be the one and what they would consider not to be the one, or you don't know the market well enough. Meaning you can't take those 20 homes she might send you where she wants to see 4 of them Monday, 4 of them Tuesday, 4 of them Wednesday, and say, I already know these neighborhoods and I've been inside most of these homes anyway. So that one's awesome. That one's awesome. That one's a dud. That one has bad foundation. That one is.
Yeah, I think that's my problem. I don't know the market well enough yet, and that's what I'm working on.
Okay.
So just so you know,
let
that price point, things move really fast. So it is your job, because I've done that price point, to do all the research beforehand. And literally, I think, Bill, you were going to bring up, wasn't it like you show the best and it continues to get worse?
That's what I was about to.
Wait, exactly.
Yeah,
and
we were sitting next to each other in that class, weren't we? Right?
Yeah, Peters. No, not Peters. Yeah, what's his name?
Gene.
Gene.
Yeah,
Rivers.
CB. Right.
Yep.
So Gene says, I'm going to take you to 5 homes today, or the buyer's agent says, I'm going to take you to 5 homes today. Very first one, I've researched them all. I've been inside most of them anyway, and this one's the best.
Mm-hmm.
right? And they get out of the home, and the next home, you say, hey, the next home's not going to be quite as nice. Take them to the next home. And they're like, yeah, you're right. It's not quite as nice. Okay, should we buy the first one? No, not quite ready to buy the first one yet. Okay, let's go to the third one. Third one's a dog. Say, hey, should we go back to the first one and buy it? They're like, yeah, I guess you're telling me the truth, huh? Shauna, what was your take from that lesson, and have you used it?
I did use it actually. It was my last client. I put it in order from best to worst, and just in their price range. Like, I knew exactly. I got rid of the whole, I'm not going to be looking at every other night going out with you. Like, I know this price point. I'm going to do the research really quick, and then I'm going to move on this, look at it, do a video, send it to you, and say, this is the ones, choose your 5. And that's what we did. And then literally went out with the best, and it was all the same price point, all of it. And it just continually got worse. And she was like, all right, like, but we went through all 5. Don't get me wrong. She dragged it to all 5, but we went back and put an offer on the first.
I love that. And it really hits home when you're not going in driving order.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I used to always drive in order just because that seemed to make the most sense to me, and no one had taught me that lesson. Right. But when she's like, wait, why are you going back on the other side of the highway to show me this one when the fourth one's right here? Be like, I told you I was going to show you in order. So if you want to go back to the first one, we can skip all the rest because that's the best one. Let's do this. But be very careful about getting into the habit of like, okay, we're going to go look at some homes today. We're going to go look at some more homes the next day. Like, I never personally was a big fan of looking at homes that, I know we're in a different market right now, but it gave me like anxiety to like get an email at like 3 o'clock with the homes they wanted to see, and I'm expected to like show up at the first one at 5 o'clock. I didn't like that. I was like, you want to see homes? We're going to look at give me the list the day before, right? And if something pops up, we can add that to the list at the last second. But this whole like haphazardness, it's almost like it's not purposeful. It's like a date. It's like, oh, we're going to hang out tonight. I'm not sure what we're going to see. I'll let you know at 3 o'clock. As I fiddle around on the phone all day long. Oh, well, here's one in Tucker. Well, you said you didn't want to live in Tucker. Well, it's cute. I might want to live in Tucker. And then you find yourself driving to Tucker. And
The only comment I have is that the houses are just flying off the market so fast. It's kind of why it's almost like we don't have the opportunity to plan a day ahead of time, because as soon as, we go to see something, there's already a contract on it. So
tell her that.
Yeah, make sure she hears that message.
That she knows that, hey, these houses you've already seen, they're selling way too fast. I mean, so if you find one that you like, you got to put it in an offer on it today. Right?
Exactly.
Right. No, we've had that conversation. So hopefully when she gets back.
Yeah. And Donna, it's very frustrating because there's oftentimes where they do get you the list and you're like, you've seen how fast the market is moving, and you're like, we do kind of need to go today, but you don't want to make that a thing. But sometimes you have to, knowing you can call, and that's what I do. Hey, what are your offers? Do you have any offers on the table? Who's come through today? Blah, blah, blah. Like I do. And I say, give me a call if you expect that there's an offer coming in. That changes how you're going to function. You're going to work from that point forward.
Good idea. Thank you,
I love
Shauna.
that. That's right.
Good idea.
Take control of that relationship, because the more professional you are, and kind of the more sometimes direct you are with another agent, that tells me what kind of partner I might have.
Exactly.
Right? When I would call up an agent and say, hey, I got a great buyer. They're working with my favorite lender. I'm going to be the best co-op agent you've ever had. What is it going to take? Oftentimes they would give it to me and I'd win. And I think it was just because I was like, I'm going to make this easy for you. What's it going to take? Right? And when my buyer really wanted the property, I had that flexibility. Doesn't mean I'm going to overpay or, you know, let them take advantage of me. I'm just being direct. Just tell me what it's going to take. If it's not a meeting in the minds, it's not going to work anyway. Right? Okay, cool. What else are you getting purposeful? Was that helpful, Donna?
Yes, it was very helpful. Thank you. So
Okay.
that's my goal, is to just be more purposeful and stick to my calendar.
Right. And maybe does she work in Smyrna too?
Yeah, she works from home right now.
Oh, great. She can look at a home or two during lunchtime, so you can actually have dinner with your family. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's a possibility now that we're out of cold.
Good. Very good. Yeah. It's all about choices. Every time that you leave your family, I used to get, oh my gosh, I was so stingy at some point. Like these people, like I had a 2 little kids, or I have 2 little kids. And I got to the point where, like, when people wanted me to leave my house to go meet them to talk about real estate, it was almost already a done deal, because I had put them through the ringer so much because I didn't want to waste any time. And I was so protective of my time because I didn't want to waste it. So even though you may not have like a laundry list and a pipeline full of prospects, don't get in the habits of letting your people be fuzzy on what they want. Okay. If all of a sudden they now want to live in Ackworth, they got some research to do. Study the schools, study the traffic patterns, study the demographics, go to the coffee shops, see if those are the people you want to be your neighbors, right? Long before we're going out and looking at random homes there. Make sense? Okay, what other, what else did you take note of after reviewing your business for the last month, and what are you gonna do purposefully this month to make adjustments to that?
Well, I feel I need to be a little bit more firm, and as well as manage my time better. I feel that when I am lead genning and I'm speaking to people who I may know, sometimes the conversation gets too friendly and I kind of have to bring it back around. But it takes so long. I'm like, I don't want to be on the phone with somebody for 15 to 20 minutes when I have like 10 other people to call. So that's one thing that I definitely want to work on. And then I just have like a bunch of weird scenarios, and I guess I'm not being as direct as I should be, because I don't want to waste my time. Like, I don't want to start looking up stuff for people when I have no paperwork signed at the moment, and I guess that's what I'm struggling with a little bit, and I want to do better.
Cool, let's talk about both of those ideas. So you're gonna have to let them, everyone's gonna run their business a little differently, but I will tell you my feeling on working with buyers without an agreement. Honestly, I don't think it's appropriate for you to push the paperwork at them so aggressively that they don't even want to give you a test drive, right? So what I would always say is I'd go meet with them, buyer presentation. I'd show them the agency agreement, right, the buyer brokerage agreement. I'd give them a quick overview of what it was and what it represented and what I could do for them prior to it being signed and what I could do it after it had been signed. And I'd ask them for the opportunity to help, right?
Okay.
9 times out of 10, after that session, they would send it back to me signed, okay? If it wasn't signed, I'd meet them again, and then I'd bring it up at the end of our day. But there's just way too many agents that will work without a buyer brokerage agreement for you to be too firm with pushing it at the front end. You got to earn the right? You would never go to, like, let's say you went to a new doctor and the doctor made you sign, a contract saying you were exclusive to that doctor before you had met the doctor or, spent time with the doctor. That would feel weird, right? So show them how you work, knowing that if by chance this is just a horrible person that's going to take advantage of you and use you, then at least you got a chance to see some homes. and at least you got a chance to read some contracts and prepare, right?
Okay.
With that being said, the contract absolutely does have a place in the process, and a place very early in the process. But if they say, hey, can you send me some homes that are in 450 in Alpharetta, and you don't have a contract signed, don't go back at them saying, I need this contract signed.
So what if they look up the homes themselves, and that's what I'm struggling with?
They likely could. I mean, they know how to do that, certainly, but for some reason they're in contact with you.
Okay, you're right.
Right. So say, you got to let them know, number one, I'm compensated by the owner of the property that you ultimately buy. Right. So working with me as your professional is of no charge, number one. And I assume you're probably going to be doing some research on your own. Here's a mobile app, by the way, that makes it really easy. You can even search by neighborhoods, right? And if you find something, whether on any website, driving around, whatever it may be, regardless of who the listing brokerage is, regardless of who the listing agent is, that's a property that I can help you pursue. So just send me the address, and we'll add it to the list for next time, or I'll answer any questions that you may have.
Okay.
So yeah, they can do a lot of this work themselves, right? That's not really what we get paid to do. We don't get paid to, quote, find the home. The home is on 40,000 websites. What we get paid to do is to coach them through the process and to protect their interest once they tell us which one they want.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You follow that?
I do.
So that's I'm glad you brought that up. That's super important too. Yeah, a lot of this information they can get for themselves, right? So that is when you got to ask those questions that say, tell me about what the perfect experience working together would look like, right? What do you expect from me, right? Ask those
Yes.
questions.
Okay.
So if they have unreasonable expectations, you can cut it off early. If they say, I was hoping to look at 4 properties every night until I find one, and by the way, I'm not really thinking about buying one for another 3 months. Say, well, damn, my wife didn't even get that kind of time. So sorry.
Okay.
Right?
That makes sense.
But if they say, all I want is somebody to return my phone calls because the last 4 agents I worked with never returned my phone calls. Say, well, man, this is going to be simple.
I got that.
Right. Now, with respect to the conversations, that's why the scripts are there for, right? You got to control the conversation. When it's time to move on from talking about coronavirus or whatever, so you move on to the next topic, right? And when it's time to get off the phone, close down the call. Say, hey, I got to run and prepare for a quick appointment in about 20 minutes. Or, once the conversation is kind of getting stale, or you're sitting there listening to something you don't really care to listen to, just say, hey, I've got to hop off to prepare for another appointment. If there's any questions you have, something we didn't get to, let's find a time to get back on the phone together, right? These are care calls. By the way, there's a lot of crazy shit that's happening in the world right now.
Yes.
Right. So remember, listen first. Hear people. People are, I'm kind of speechless, to be honest, at the vast majority of the things that are happening in our world right now. But listen more than you talk. Okay. Listen more than you talk. And that goes for everybody, right? When you're having conversations with people, like, man, there are people thinking some crazy stuff, some dark stuff. Just listen, okay? Sometimes we're gonna feel like a life coach. Sometimes we're gonna feel like a financial planner. Sometimes we're gonna feel like a marriage counselor.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Sometimes we're gonna feel like, kind of a like a what do you call it? Confessional priest or whatever. I don't know much about that. Right. We have to serve those roles. That it's just part of the process, right? These people are putting their faith in us, And we have to take the good with the bad, or the bad with the good, or we have to be patient sometimes. Believe me, if there's anyone that's probably in a rush to get off the phone, I bet you I beat you at that, Ebony. Okay, but I have to like pinch myself every once in a while. Listen, 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 stop talking, listen, listen, right? If that's what you have to do, that's what you have to do, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I know sometimes it can be crazy, but you know, come from like the deepest place you can come from when you're asking somebody how they're doing, right? Because even the people that appear to be
Put together, sometime aren't.
the vast majority of them are not.
That's true.
Okay. Okay, what else? Okay, let's review the schedule real fast. And then we will be back together a couple of times today, I believe, actually. Okay, from 12 o'clock to from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, I'm going to be doing a class called 10 Steps to Six Figures. From 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, we're going to be doing basic skills camp. So if there's anyone on the call that has a skill that they're need some assistance with, they want me to walk them through it or something like that, just put the message in the launch mastermind group, and that will be some of the content that we talk about. If I don't hear anything, I have plenty of stuff I can talk about. And that is our schedule for today. Next, I haven't made an announcement about this yet, but next Wednesday, the 10th, I'm planning an all-day event. It is going to be, don't get nervous, everybody. What I'd like to do is do a Bold 100 with you on next Wednesday, okay? Bold 100 is where we make 100 contacts in one day. Every single time I've done it, or every single time I've seen people do it, they leave that day with multiple new opportunities. So I want to push hard on that. So in preparation for next Wednesday, remember, if you send me an address, I can get you a list from Cole of the 1,500 or 2,000 people that live closest to that address. You can invite them to an open house. You can, we'll go through some scripts and all these kind of things in preparation for that. But I want everyone to feel prepared and ready to make those calls by next Wednesday. So if you'd like to do some circle dialing, or you want to familiarize yourself with the Vulcan 7 system, let's talk through those processes, okay? Big day.
Okay.
All right, let me make sure I caught these. Yes. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. I'll see you at 1 o'clock.
Okay, bye.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Bill. See you
Yep.
later.
Thanks.